Hey, Jody here with weldingtipsandtricks.com. First of all, a big thank you to everyone that watches these videos. I just passed the 100,000 subscriber mark, and I don't really know what that means except that it feels pretty good. Also, I kind of want to set this video up. This is a visit to Tulsa Welding School in Jacksonville, Florida. I was on vacation a few weeks ago at Ponce Inlet, Florida, and so I thought I would set up a visit. Now, why would a guy take a day of his vacation to go visit a welding school? Well, I'd already visited Hobart a couple of times. I'd visited Lincoln, and I wanted to see how Tulsa, stacked up to some of the better known welding schools. Also, it got me out of going to Disney World. While I was there, I took a little quick tour of the school, then got to talk with several recent graduates. Here we go. Hey, this is Jody with weldingtipsandtricks.com. I'm here in Jacksonville, Florida, taking a little tour of Tulsa Welding School. I'm on vacation down near Daytona, Ponce Inlet. The rest of the family decided to go to Disney World today. I guess this is my Disney World here. Getting ready to go inside for a tour. We'll see what happens. In case you're thinking that all I ever do is work, even while on vacation, I just want to show you I did have a good time. Threw the cast net a lot, caught bait fish, and caught this nice redfish. Had a great time at Ponce Inlet. Let's do the Tulsa tour now. All right, just like most welding schools, nothing surprising on the inside, a bunch of booths, a bunch of machines overhead, Lincoln machines, multi-process machines, and it's broken down into 10 phases. And you start off by pad and beads, and you work in different position pad and beads, and then start doing different joints with stick, and then work into T-joints out of position with stick, and then get into MIG and flux core, some structural plate tests and T-joints, and then 60-10 open butt plates, and then you get into pipe. Stick welding, pipe 60-10 root, 70-18 fill. Then you get into TIG root pipe with stick fill in different positions, and then you go down to 2-inch like boiler tube type size pipe, and then you switch over to 309 stainless steel like are given on a lot of tests. And then you have a choice in phase 9 of doing TIG stainless or aluminum, or doing the API 1104 code type welding, downhill root 60-10. And then phase 10, you got to bend out. That's the test phase for structural plate as well as pipe, 6G pipe tests. And then there's phase 11, which is different every time because it's contractors coming in, actually giving tests and hiring people on the spot. We'll talk about that a little bit in just a minute with one of the interviews that I'm going to do with some of the graduates. There's also some classroom work, nice clean classrooms, some courseware, couple of books like that go over some isometric drawing reading and weld symbols, as well as some blueprint reading. I asked while I was there if it'd be possible for me to interview a few recent graduates to talk with them about their experience going through the program at Tulsa. So here we go with that. Your name's Nick?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What made you decide to come to Tulsa Welding School?
There was a buddy that I knew that I went to school with, and he came here and he started welding, and I was going to community college, and it just wasn't for me. And I saw him coming back to town with a new truck and everything like that, so I was like, dang, I want to be a welder too.
Same story here, kind of. I was going to community college. Like what? I had no clue why I was going to community college.
Same way.
I didn't have like a major or anything like that, or an interest like, oh, I want to be a lawyer or whatever, physical trainer. I was just going, taking my core stuff, skipping class, farting around, goofing off, and totally spinning my wheels, So I moved across the street from welding instructor at the local Votech school. I didn't know, and I was telling him, yeah, I'm going to college up there, but I want to get into the auto mechanics program here at your school. He said, well, I can't help you with that, but I get you in welding. Boom. That's how I got in. I didn't know anything. I knew so little about welding. My first day of welding school, and you can picture this because you've been through it. My first day of welding school, here, grab you a big handful of these 60-13s, go out back and cut, get a piece of scrap plate or whatever, and just start running beads. Rock and roll t-shirt, Converse tennis shoes, and gloves. I did wear gloves, but I didn't know you had to wear skin protection, And I got baked.
Oh man.
So baked. All day I welded, with just short sleeves on. From here, this part of my arm was toasted. Yeah. Okay. Most frustrating thing of going through the program.
Just starting something new, I think. Like when you first start, 60-10.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
you're stuck on it.
You know,
and you're not seeing that progression you're used to seeing.
Right. That really is the most frustrating thing. But if you put your mind to it and you realize, okay, if I keep doing this, I'll get better at it.
Right.
Then you overcome that.
I think it builds on itself. You know, I mean, at first, if you're throwing a curve like that day 3, you don't have 6 months under your belt to look back on and say, well, you know, they've never really given me anything that I didn't eventually grasp.
Right.
So it's, you know you kind of build confidence where you know, hey, bring it on. I'll figure it out.
That's how it was.
It's a good. Welding just welding curriculums in general are that way. I mean, it's just incremental, and college isn't. You know, it's like this professor, this class is totally different. Hit the reset button every class.
Right.
Whereas welding is like, okay, now we're going to give something a little bit harder, and it fit my personality.
Yeah, me too.
You know, since you've completed the program here, what looking back, you can put your finger on is like the most rewarding thing about the whole, getting through it. Now that you're on the other side.
Just work ethic. Honestly, when you come here and you realize, okay, I gotta work hard if I want to be good enough when I get out of here.
Yeah.
To get a good job, and that's one thing I did. I'd come in at 7:30, and sometimes I wouldn't leave till 11:30 at night, and just seeing from when I would start something new to the end of that day, just the increase of like how it would look, it just strive me to get better. And that's just one thing, Everything I do, I just want it better.
Yeah.
So I think work ethic and drive, really.
Where are you headed next? What job prospects do you have? Have you already got a job right now? Are you in here doing interim training, practicing for another job, or?
Yeah, I actually left here, went and got a job for a company called Cabana Energy. Then I came back through to brush up to go to work for Performance in Mississippi, and when we were brushing up for them, they came out and they were like, hey, we need 2 TAs, guys that help the instructors, basically walk around, help teach demos and make sure kids are doing everything right.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, okay. They were like, yeah, well, we test tomorrow. So, okay, and then next day I came in, tested, passed, and got the job, and I've been working here now for about 5.5 months.
As a teacher's assistant?
Yeah.
The director's name, what was his name, Jack?
Jack.
He mentioned it earlier about once you graduate from Tulsa that you can come back anytime to tune up and brush up on a certain test that you're going to. That's what you were doing when they had the opportunity for.
Yeah, when I left the company I was working for, I was coming here to brush up for Performance because where I was at, it was all freehand tubes.
Right.
And for Performance, they needed a TIG all the way out. They only wanted you to walk the cut.
They did want you to walk the cut.
Yeah. And a 2-inch TIG roof and stick out. And I ain't welded a stick in 6 months, so that's why I was coming back here to practice my stick on 2-inch.
Yeah.
And
I find that's a huge benefit.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So being able to come back and practice a certain joint. I remember going to take a test one time thinking I've done this before, no sweat. It's a 6-inch schedule 120, TIG root and hot pass, stick fill. I get there, hey, here's your consumable insert. What? What's the consumable insert? Right. How long did it take you to get through the program here?
7 months.
They take you through in little phases, right?
Right, yeah, you have 10 phases. First phase, they come in, they give you 1A, 70, 18 until you go work. And then you learn structural stick, then you go through MIG, flux core, then you start 6-10, open roots. Yeah. Then you go to pipe. I think in phase 9 you can do high freak, stainless and aluminum, or you can do downhill. And then when you get to phase 10, you got to bend out. Okay. So if you were slacking off, then it's going to show in phase 10. But if you were here and you worked hard and you know what you're doing, then it should be a breeze. Anything else you got that that you just like to get off your chest, or? No, really just the school changed my life for the better, for sure. I went from doing nothing to now I got a pretty good career job, and I pay my bills, and
yeah, that was a huge for me to have that direction. I mean, I got into something that took me a lot of places. You know,
Yeah.
I worked on lots of nuclear plants, in different areas of the country, and then got the brass ring. Got a job with Delta Airlines, welding aircraft parts,
Nice.
and then took that just in the right place at the right time. I wasn't anything special, but I was in the right place at the right time. Knew a lot about certification and things like that. They were starting a certification program, so I got to be in charge of that for Delta, and then that led to working in a metallurgical lab for like 5 years, and then I went back to teaching. So it was awesome, because opportunity after opportunity.
Right.
But you know, you also have to show up and work and apply yourself and learn. You know, but I tell people in getting into welding, try to have a plan. You know, it's like if nothing wrong with starting out and digging a ditch, but do you want to be digging a ditch when you're 70?
No.
Climbing under a pipe don't feel the same when you're
Yeah, I couldn't imagine.
when you're 50 as it does when you're 20. You know.
Yeah.
You know, I thought when I was in my 20s, I thought I love this. I'm going to do it until I retire. So anyway, the natural progression of things is to then get a body of knowledge by getting hands-on, getting dirty, getting experience, pay attention, learn everything you can, and then try to draw from that and move up a little bit.
Yep. So you don't gotta work on
Teacher's
your
aide,
tools. Yep.
instructor, and then maybe get your CWI if maybe you don't have that, or maybe you're working on that.
Yeah, one day. That's
Yeah.
my plan. One
Get
day.
your CWI. That opens up doors for you.
Oh yeah.
I did that in '91. That opened up doors. And then later on, I got my senior CWI. I didn't really ever have to have it, but it certainly it opens doors.
Right.
You know, so that's the thing. Have a plan. Don't get stuck in one place. You know, but don't be afraid to get dirty at first and get that experience.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Good talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Trenton, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I like your sticker on your helmet. That's all right. Okay, I got a few questions to ask of you here. This is not a commercial for Tulsa Welding or anything like that, so just answer right from, you know, how you feel. Has Tulsa Welding School helped you find jobs? Are they plugged into a kind of a network? Do you get emails or things like that on finding jobs?
They help. I mean, they help you find jobs, and they send you a lot of emails. They have a phase 11 class here.
Mm-hmm.
But they always have those here, so they're pretty much they're good with the job. You know, help you with the job search, pursue a job.
Phase 11, is that like test out phase or after test out phase, where you just do certain things to help you transition into a real work environment, like limited access, laying down on the floor and stuff?
It's like this is say you know you had a welding company and you were looking for some welders. You know, they call Tulsa, you know, we're looking for such and such 20 welders maybe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so see, they send out an email to graduates.
Uh-huh.
You know, well, Mr. So-and-so is coming, BAE comes, Ingalls.
Uh-huh.
You know, we're going to hold a phase 11 classes for 2 weeks. They prepare you for the test, and their human resource, you know, comes in that day, the last day, and gives you the test.
Uh-huh.
And if you pass the test, they offer you employment. Well, however they have it set up. Some people,
right.
You know, some people hire you right then, or
So employer gets to kind of handpick a little bit. You can come in here and okay.
because they're right there, they watch everybody take the test and you know, everything. Everything.
That's interesting.
So, question: when did you start with?
1977. I know, I don't look that old. Yeah, I've been at it a while, and I'm very fortunate. I've been in the right place at the right times from here and there. Pleasure meeting you. All right, I'm just going to ask you some very informal questions.
Okay.
You just answer whatever's right here. Don't you know? It's not a commercial for Tulsa, so you don't have to put on any airs or anything like that. All right, what made you decide to enroll to come here to Tulsa?
Well, I just figured college wasn't going to be for me. I'm not the study type person, so I wanted to do something hands-on. I'm pretty good with my hands, so I just decided to enroll, do welding.
Okay. Me too. That's exactly. Have you completed the program?
Yes, sir. I'm a graduate.
Where are you headed now? Do you have prospects of tests that you're going to go take? Or?
I'm actually headed to Manchester, Iowa.
Oh yeah?
Yes, sir. I'll be working for XL Specialized Trailers.
Okay. Did Tulsa help with that job
Yes,
placement?
sir. Yes,
They
sir.
found that job for you?
Yeah, they held a Phase 11 here, I want to say a week ago, 2 weeks
I've been hearing a lot about Phase 11.
Yeah.
That's after you get through all your
Yeah.
Phase 10, then that's prepping you for a certain test or a job? Is that what Phase
Yes, sir.
11
Phase
is?
11 is basically held for all the graduates.
Okay.
If you enroll, you
Mhm.
pass the test that the job requires, and you get a job.
Cool.
It was a good experience for me. I learned a lot. Basically, you just have to be there to ask questions and sometimes put overtime in after your shift and get better at your craft. So Tulsa was a good experience because I learned that basically it's not on the instructors, it's on you to want to learn more and do better.
And that is basically how life works.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
there's nobody out there handing out money, and nobody out there handing out skill, that's for
Right.
sure. The skill comes by sweat,
Right.
paying attention, not just hard work, but paying attention, like, really doing things with a purpose. That's one thing one of the guys that I interviewed, Nick, talked about how going through the program here at Tulsa actually kind of teaches work ethic, because nobody's going to do it for you, and you know that you got to do a certain amount just to make it, because it's pretty fast paced. So you got to plan your work, make sure you got your materials prepped, and make sure that you ask for help when you need it, and problem solve and learn all those things. So yeah, you feel like you learned some work ethic while you're here.
Most definitely.
Work ethic is huge.
Yeah, it
Because
is.
you know why? You know why it is? Because it'll set you apart from so many other people. Because it's lacking just in the world today.
Yeah.
And so if you are the guy that shows up on time, doesn't leave early, and doesn't lie, doesn't steal, doesn't cheat, and you do your work, you're like up here compared to the rest of the population. It pays off. It
Definitely.
pays off big time.
Definitely.
I'm giving you a lecture here, but I'm like your dad here for a minute. Well,
Yeah,
I'm
but
old
I
enough to be
definitely-
your dad, definitely, but
I
it's,
definitely understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of, it's not easy, it's hard work and dedication, but in the end it pays off. I went from minimum wage to now I'm making 20 plus now on my first job, so.
feels good, doesn't it?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah, and it makes your family proud at the same time.
It does, and a man needs that. He needs
Yeah.
his woman, his kids to look up to him. That
Yes,
he brings it home. So, congratulations on making it through, man. It's been great to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
All right, I'm here with Shane Murphy, who graduated from Tulsa here in 2011. Why not college?
I was never really good with books. I mean, high school was a challenge for me sometimes, and I've always been good with my hands. Really loved welding. I like this school, I mean, it was good for me. It was really hands-on, and the instructors were really great and really taught me a lot.
Since you have completed this program here, and you're looking back on it, what can you say was the most rewarding thing out of that whole experience?
The main thing you need when you're welding is time under the hood, and that's why I like this school so much, is because I could come after school, after my shift if I wanted to, and weld, and just stay under my hood and weld, and I didn't have to buy the plate. Obviously I had to pay for schooling, but I mean, all that plate and pipe, welding it all the time, and staying under the hood is very expensive. And I tell a lot of my students, don't turn down a good helper's job.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you right now, I learned a ton from when I was in Texas as a helper. I learned a ton in the field as a helper. Just because you're getting with these older guys. The guys I was welding was 65 and 60.
A lot of welders are.
Yeah.
That's the whole skills gap thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more at that age than there are 20.
Yeah.
And
I mean, they were the top of the line, good. And I learned so much from them.
Yeah.
And it's just a learning process, and you're getting experience under your belt.
Yeah. You know?
And exactly, I mean, when I was a helper, I was welding a lot.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if we would ever be slow,
Mhm.
I was over there welding.
Yeah.
Anytime I could be under the hood, I was under the hood. Anytime, pretty much a lot of the times, I would get under the hood every time he would strike an arc just to watch. Just to see the puddle, so I knew what to do when I would start trying.
Smart guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not everybody would.
Yeah.
These days, somebody would be like, hey, if I'm not having anything to do, I'm,
Yeah. Yeah.
checking Facebook or whatever. All right. Well, that'll do it. Thanks, Shane.
Thank you.